Hello. Are you the new butler?
Well, it's been a long time since I've been the new anything.
What's happened to Hudson?
Oh, I guess he's changing.
Yeah, he does that a lot, doesn't he? Oh, I'm Morgan Jeffery. I live down the road. Sir Percival lets me record here when he's not around. He's not around, is he?
I can honestly say I haven't seen him, but come on in.
Are you related to Sir Percival?
Well, distantly, yeah.
Oh, you're not the poor relation from Dorset, are you?
Ha! Gee, news sure travels fast, doesn't it? I'm Tom.
Oh, I'm pleased to meet you. You're the one that does those podcasts, right?
Well, right or wrong, I do them either way.
Oh, well, I do podcasts too.
Oh, good. What kind of podcast?
Oh, mostly the geeky stuff. Do you like geeky films, TV shows, games?
Oh, I think they're marvelous. Some of them really fine. But, tell me, do you ever look back at any of the older fellas?
Oh, sure, yeah, I like Patrick McGoohan and the other one, Jerry Anderson.
Oh, you go back that far, huh?
Oh, yeah, I'm not as young as I look.
None of us are these days.
Well, but I still get excited around the Christmas holidays.
Do you, go in for any geeky things in the Jeffrey household at Christmas time?
Oh, yeah, most of them, really. I mean, we never miss Doctor Who on Christmas Day. I even sing along to the theme tune.
Oh, you do, huh?
Oh, yeah, I love a good theme tune. Oh, this is one of my favourites from obscure 90s kids show The Riddlers. Do you know that one?
Oh, I do indeed. It's a lovely thing.
Da 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 da.
Two Geeks, 2 beers and a laptop. Episode 15, The 12 Days of Geekmas.
Pretty little thing, isn't it? 1, 2. Sort of 2. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, cheers. Yes, hello and Merry Christmas. Welcome to a special festive edition of 2 Geeks, 2 Beers and a Laptop with me, Mary Morgan, and my Christmas companion, Tiny Tom.
Hello! Ho, ho, ho.
You can think of us as 2 Christmas elves slipping down your chimney to stick some geeky goodness in your stocking.
That sounds rather funny.
Yeah, sorry, so I'm lowering the tone at Christmas time. I am aware we did promise you a Ulysses 31 episode. It is coming.
It has been recorded.
It has been recorded, but his journey to the Kingdom of Hades is taking a little longer than we expected. So this is Christmas, and you can look out for that episode next year in 2016.
Yeah.
So, what are we drinking today here, Tom?
Well, I am sorry. There must have been some kind of... There must be, like, Christmas beers.
Festive ales.
You know, they do exist, but, you know, small budget. We can only go with what's at our local Sainsbury's. And the only one I could find was remotely Christmassy is Blue Moon, which is a beer I like.
And it does have Christmas trees on the label.
That's purely the reason. Because it has what looks like Christmas trees on it. I don't know if that's always on the label or if they've done that for Christmas or what, but anyway, it's a nice beer nonetheless.
Cheers.
Yeah. So far.
No. Spillage.
I caught it.
Foamy, festive spillage. Yeah. Well, so what we're doing in this special episode is the 12 Days of Geekmas, looking at 12 TV Christmas specials with a geeky slant, some of which you might not even know exist. Or, to put it another way, on the 12 days of Geekmas, my true love gave to me Mulder and Scully, Power Rangers fighting, sliders are sliding, 80s cartoon team-up, Star Wars Christmas special, festive mutant antics, Christmas in Pangea, Community, biker mice from Mars, Jerry Anderson, Lois and Clark, and the Doctor in the TARDIS. Very good.
Knackered after that. I lost my breath halfway through.
I lost my breath halfway through.
It's because we had
oh god. Alright, well, so...
We're sorry.
So, Mulder and Scully, you're up first.
I am at first. I have to admit, I'm not the biggest X-Files viewer.
No, me neither. I've seen the odd episode, I've got into it now and then, but I've never been a kind of dedicated fan.
Yeah, and it is one of those shows, though, that I would like to properly go through. It still looks quite good, you know, you'd think it'd be a bit dated by now, but they did a couple of Christmas specials. 2 Christmas specials. But the thing is, unlike these other shows that we're going to be doing, I'm sure, where they're all a bit crap, these just look like good episodes.
Because we will get onto that, is that a consistent theme on these festive specials is that they're a bit...
Watch where they think.
They're a bit naff.
Yeah. Whereas this is just quite good. In season 5, there was one episode called Christmas Carol. Set at Christmas, as you'd expect.
Yes.
So we've got Mulder's not really in this episode.
Right.
I think he just kind of went, nah.
Duchovny was like,
Yeah.
they tried to do some like Mulder wine jokes, and he was like, no, I'm out.
Right. Scully is on holiday with her family, and she gets a call from someone who sounds like a dead sister. And it leads her to a case of a woman who committed suicide, and her daughter, who she believes is actually her sister's, who got adopted by this family.
Very festive.
But it turns out that the girl's actually Scully's, even though what?
What, her daughter?
Yeah, it's her daughter, and it's assumed that she was conceived after her ova had been harvested after being abducted to make an alien-human hybrid, which was what her daughter Emily is.
This is far more convoluted and complicated than, say, Yeah, and Only Fools and Horses Christmas special.
So,
I suppose it is sort of about bringing family together over the festive period.
But the good thing about that episode was it was originally supposed to be based on Scrooge starring as the Sim.
Right.
And the family that she goes and see are all called the Sim family.
Right,
So
okay, nice little reference.
Nice little tie. And originally Scully was going to be like a Scrooge type character and have like, I don't know. But
I want to believe in Christmas.
Nice. But they changed it in the end so that she was kind of visited by past versions of herself.
Right.
It's sort of like the ghost.
Like her daughter.
Yeah. But they did a second X-Files Christmas special in season 6, and this is much more of a Christmassy affair called How the Ghost Stole Christmas.
Right.
It's Christmas Eve, and Mulder and Scully visit a haunted house where in 1917 a couple did a murder-suicide thing. And
Yeah, you're right. This does sound much more Christmassy and cheery.
And now they're trying to entice other couples to do the same. So this is a much better
There's a very similar Buffy episode along those lines.
Oh,
Not Christmassy.
'Twas the night before Christmas in a house full of ghosts. Mulder, Scully, and their special guest hosts. Ed Asner and Lily Tomlin would show them the way. But the doors are all locked, and they're here to stay. The X-Files, an all-new Christmas episode, Sunday at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
Just struck me, why didn't they call it the Xmas Files?
Yeah, there's one chance to
you
do
had
that.
one job.
Exactly.
I love that one though.
Yeah.
Mulder and Scully at Christmas time with special guest star Ed Asner.
It sounds like they'd already run out of ideas at this point.
And it still went on for about 4 more seasons.
But it was kind of like, do you remember Sirens in Red Dwarf?
Yes.
Where they would see illusions not just of people but of things that were happening. And this episode, the old couple were making them see illusions of Mulder and Scully shooting each other, and then at the very end Mulder gets it and goes, hang on, we're fine, that sounds up and they're totally fine, they weren't shot. So, but what I like though, it ends in a nice sort of Christmassy bit where they exchange gifts. But the thing is, after getting through all that, they just got shot by their partners, or if they think they did. They got haunted by ghosts and then realised it was all an illusion, and they just went, let's go home and have Christmas.
I know we said that we weren't going to exchange gifts, but I got you a little something.
Mulder,
Merry Christmas.
well, I got you a little something too.
It would lend itself very well to a Christmas feel.
Yeah.
And indeed it does not. Because that was really weird.
They tried to sort of shoehorn it in at the end. Have a merry little Christmas.
Scully all giddy to open presents.
So what we got next?
So next up is Power Rangers Fighting, which is you again.
Me again. Now I've got to mention, in 1994, it was the first sort of chart I ever listened to, and I used to be a proper chart nerd.
Used to be.
Not anymore though. I couldn't name you any of the songs. I've gone past it now. But in 1994, there was a Christmas single for Power Rangers.
I remember that. Incredible.
And it was
School
incredible.
disco classic.
Yeah, and I at the time desperate for them to be Christmas number 1. And they weren't.
Was that the one where, because it was actually got a crucial piece of Power Rangers
yeah,
mythology, because it worked in the reveal of the White Ranger.
Yeah.
Aye, Zordon, what is that on the viewing globe? That is the future. That is the White Ranger.
And at the time we listened to that.
And I was at school disco being like, everyone else, dancing with girls, and I was like, oh my god, the new Power Ranger, how exciting.
Wait! Zordon, what's that in the viewing globe?
That is the future you are seeing, Alpha. That is the White Ranger.
But so Power Rangers did 7 Christmas specials in total.
Yeah.
But
7?
But that's in all of Power Rangers.
Oh, Power Rangers Time Force
Lore,
and Dragon
X
Time
all
and
that shit,
yeah.
But the one I'm going to talk about is in 1994. There was a straight-to-video called Alpha's Magical Christmas.
Okay.
And it's Alpha 5, who you just did an impression of.
Aye. Yeah.
No one's favourite character.
No one's
he was
favourite
like
character.
the Orko of the group.
We'll get onto Orko later on.
So it's essentially just Alpha 5 singing carols to children around the world to cheer himself up as his friends are all busy helping Santa.
What, his robot friends?
No, his Power Rangers are helping Santa.
Oh, right. Okay.
So apparently it was made in a sort of shitty attempt to increase Alpha 5's popularity with the fans.
Brilliant. They're like, he's not popular, so let's base the whole episode around him.
But it couldn't have backfired more, because it's the worst thing ever. I love it, because there's this whole dedicated Wikipedia page to Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And everything, they've written it in such a shitty tone. It's like, but it didn't work as intended, as most people do not enjoy the special very much, known for its poor production and nonsensical story. So I'll show you the intro.
Excellent, I cannot wait to see this.
The entire thing.
Oh, hello there. I'm just putting the final touches on my Christmas tree before the big day arrives. I feel so happy and excited about Christmas this year. Although, I didn't quite start out that way. In fact, I was really pretty sad this morning. Oh, Zordon, I just can't seem to get into the Christmas spirit.
Cheer up, Alpha. It's Christmas Eve. Although it does seem strangely quiet without the Power Rangers.
But where are they, Zordon?
They have a very important mission this Christmas. They are helping Santa get all the presents ready for the children.
That is a big job. Santa can use all the help he can get. There he is, preparing the reindeer for their long trip tonight. I have it. I know how to get the Power Rangers home for Christmas.
Now, Alpha, you said it yourself. They have a big job to do.
I'll just put up decorations like everyone else around the world, then Santa and the Rangers will have to come. Now let's see. I'll need some Christmas lights and tinsel.
But Alpha, you don't have a Christmas tree.
I know, but the rest of my decorations are wonderful. See?
All right, Alpha, you win. Push the red button on the console. Behold, Alpha, my Christmas present to you.
I love the idea of the Power Rangers. The Power Rangers helping Santa and just being like, it's wrapping time! Blitzer, Don! Like Rudolph!
Eggnog! So the whole plot of it is, on Christmas Eve, Zordon presents Alpha with a Christmas tree, and then he just sort of teleports in children to spend time with him. Which is a bit dodgy.
Kidnapping children at Christmas
so here's
time.
the bit where the children arrive.
Oh, Zordon, I know the Rangers have a lot of work to do, but Christmas just isn't the same if you are all alone.
I know, Alpha. I can't promise the Rangers, but I've made arrangements for you to have some company tonight. Push the green button on the console and get ready for some Christmas magic.
I love Christmas, but that's made me hate it. That's turning me into a right Grinch.
It's awful, and it feels like a sort of weird To Catch a Predator thing where they're enticing these children in. Like,
Zordon makes some arrangements for Alpha to have some company.
So from then on, it's literally just Alpha and the kids singing. You heard a bit there, just sickly high-pitched sort of carols with his voice at the top while putting up decorations, and it just, as you say, just makes you hate carols.
Yeah, and Christmas.
Yeah, but don't worry, because at the end, the Power Rangers arrive.
At last.
The alarm!
We have an incoming teleportation.
Who could it be on Christmas Eve?
There is no need to be alarmed, Alpha. It's the Power Rangers.
Oh, I just knew you would come. Oh, Tommy, Kimberly, Billy, you're here. I'm so happy to see you. But where are the others?
3 are with their families, but they left a special message.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody.
And the others are still at the World Peace Project.
With as busy as you all are, it's wonderful you took the time to visit us.
That's right, and we have to get back as soon as we can.
Yeah, but we couldn't leave you guys here alone for Christmas.
Thank you, Rangers.
Holidays are the best time to share good wishes with the ones you love.
That's right, Billy. And my Christmas wish for you, Alpha, is that you'll always have a smile in your heart.
And that the magic of Christmas will stay with you the whole year through. We hope that the new year will bring happiness and harmony to you and your families.
In a safe world, where you'll be free to grow into the best person you can be.
And for all of us, may this be the year we have peace on Earth.
Okay, Alpha, we have to go. Santa's waiting.
That's right, he's got a long trip tonight.
And he'll need all of us to load his sleigh.
We've had a great year together, Rangers. But before you go, we have a special surprise for you.
Wow!
Most impressive.
Wow, now this is what I call Christmas magic.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
Dreadful. Utterly, just facepalm. All of that is just diabolical. What were they thinking? But
Christmas, terrible carols, Power Ranger Stranger Danger.
That's right, Charlie.
Oh my
But I want to just go back to the dedicated wiki again, because despite the special's gentle and tender nature, Alpha's Magical Christmas is continually and near universally panned, revulsed and ridiculed by most of the Power Rangers fan community for its excessively saccharine, cutesy tone, the lack of action, adventure and creativity, the constant singing, the poor production quality, the weak premise and framing story, completely ignoring the series' continuity, much less its own continuity. And then, this is even better, it's got a list of errors.
Citation needed.
1. How can Alpha eat cookies if he has no visible mouth or teeth? If Alpha has magical powers before, if he had them before, where did they come from? And if he had powers, wouldn't he have some kind of powers to help the Power Rangers during the series? Why would Zordon make arrangements for children to be teleported to the command centre when the purpose of the centre, being in a desert, is to protect it from being found by anyone? How did he make the arrangements in the first place? How does Alpha know the names of the children or know where they live? How did he know his name? Also, how are the children going to explain where they were to their parents if they saw them come back from being gone? And the amount of children in the command centre changes inconsistently. There are 12 kids teleported inside, and then there's 18 plus that leave through the teleportation portal.
So more children arrive?
Yeah! Where did they come from? I mean, there was another...
I think Alpha just had 6 children stowed away somewhere. Sinister.
Yeah, just go. Yeah.
Just go with them, yeah.
There was another Christmas special, but it's called I'm Dreaming of a White Ranger. But who cares when... I'm
already exhausted.
Yeah. So there we go.
Oh my god.
I don't know if it can get worse than that.
Hopefully not. So next up, sliders are sliding. Sorry, it's you again.
Okay.
Those are the rules of the song.
So sliders, which we will as with Power Rangers, we will definitely do an episode.
Power Rangers and sliders will both be future episodes of Two Geeks.
So
sliders.
I found the gateway, the Christmas gateway. So in this episode of Sliders, if you don't know the plot, how do you explain the plot?
So Jerry O'Connell discovers a portal into different same Earth. Different dimension. He found the gateway. And him and some other friends basically travel into different parallel universes, always trying to find the trip home, a bit like Quantum Leap.
Yeah. Oh, it's called Season's Greetings.
Season's Greetings, which will be important for a reason we'll bring up later.
They arrive in a world consumed by consumerism.
And greed.
And where most of the population have moved into giant malls in the sky.
Okay. Sky malls.
Yeah. They are forced to dive into this twisted world when a mother abandons her child in Arturo's arms, played by
the great John Rhys Davies,
to return to a life of slavery at the mall. So here's a clip of the very moment that they realise where they are.
Hey, check this out. Jess's live, huh?
How does this thing stay up?
I think it's balanced by those tiers.
Well, if it's not, there's been a significant change in the laws of physics. Though one can hardly admire a world that places shopping in higher esteem than motherhood.
Maybe he knows her and the baby from our world. That would explain his obsession with her.
He just said so.
Attention, shoppers. Only 2 more shopping days till Christmas. Show someone your love with that extra special gift. Instant credit loans, always available.
Boy, that brings the Christmas spirit to a new low.
Yes, sir, it does.
Why didn't they call this Sliders Down the Chimney? Come on!
No.
I'm wasted here.
Well, that's the thing. At one point, Rhys Davies gets a job instantly as Santa.
Of course he does.
And the rest all dress up as elves for the rest of it. So it's worth just watching it just to see Jerry O'Connell dressed up as an elf. So everyone lives, works and shops in these huge shopping centres. It's sort of like what happens in WALL-E at the end.
Right, yeah.
Wade, the girl in the show, she finds that the mall is run by her doppelganger sister and father. They just happen to be there.
Sure.
And so it's all about like missing families and Christmas and that. But another bit I do find funny though is, despite all the heartfelt moments, Quinn just finds a moment to sort of date her sister.
Nice.
So, what a cad.
Jerry O'Connell, Christmas player.
Yeah, but it has a lovely end. Tells you all about the spirit of Christmas. So might as well play that.
You know, I wanted to ask you, when your father came back to get you, did everything work out okay?
Oh, we had many good holidays together. But that was a very special Christmas. It was post-war England. No toys to be had anywhere. So he made me a little wooden car with black wooden wheels and painted it blue. And when he gave it to me, I remember his hands were shaking slightly. And I looked up into his eyes, and I saw there were tears in them. And that was the moment I knew my daddy was home. And that he loved me. Best gift he ever could have given. May we, just say goodbye to your little one now? Come on, Alex.
Come on.
I think there's a little fellow here who would like to hear you sing.
Always love to perform for the little people.
There we go. Silent night, holy night.
John Rhys Davies, they're acting his little stockings off. Lovely.
Well, there we go.
Very heartwarming.
What's next?
So next is 80s cartoon team-ups, which is me.
Cool.
At last. So this is the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special. A special festive crossover for the cartoons He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and its spin-off She-Ra Princess of Power. Broadcast, perhaps tellingly, only once in December 1985. We talked about Orko earlier. This is an Orko-centric episode. Yeah, just like Power Rangers.
What were they thinking?
Orko is very much the alpha, the Scrappy-Doo, the Snarf of the He-Man universe. And in this episode, two children from Earth teach Orko, the space wizard, the meaning of Christmas.
Okay.
Now, because He-Man and other 80s cartoons like G.I. Joe, they always had these little moments. They were quite heavy-handed, serving up a heavy dose of morality alongside all the adventure. You know, those things. Now we know, and knowing is half the battle. It's all those kinds of things.
And that's the spirit of Christmas.
Make sure you don't go off with any strangers, kids. Those kind of things. And in this one, it's all about the spirit of Christmas and learning that Christmas is about caring, sharing, and goodwill. And eventually, even He-Man's nemesis, the terrifying Skeletor, even he is overcome with Christmas spirit. He helps to save the kids from a terrifying alien menace, so as we can see here.
There, that'll take care of Horde Prime for a while.
Skeletor! They're great, Skeletor! Thanks so much! He saved us!
He saved you?
Yes, I guess I did. I wish I knew why. I don't think I feel well.
Well, I think you're feeling the Christmas spirit, Skeletor. It makes you feel good.
Well, I don't like to feel good. I like to feel evil. Oh.
Don't worry, Skeletor. Christmas only comes once a year.
Thank goodness.
Oh my lord! They've made him into a wetty. Skeletor wouldn't go. Well, he'd just go. Oh no, I'll annihilate all of you right now.
But he can't resist. It's the Christmas spirit. The Christmas spirit infecting him. He cannot resist.
Did the guy who played Orko also play Alpha 5?
Yes. Aye. It always bugs me about Skeletor's voice. He's got the nasal voice, no nasal passages. How does that work?
So they always look so camp as well.
So as you could tell, that was pretty awful. Which, as we've discussed, is a fairly consistent theme. So next up is Star Wars Christmas Special.
Yeah.
So back to you.
That's me, because they're all TV specials, even though it's based on a movie. Obviously, this
was the classic Star Wars holiday special.
And I didn't realise this introduced Boba Fett. This is the first time Boba Fett features. It was in a cartoon segment of this.
Sort of.
Oh.
Because in Star Wars / A New Hope,
Yeah.
in the cutscene that they later restored with Jabba, Boba Fett's in that. But I'm not sure. Maybe they added that in later.
I think they must have.
Maybe they added that in later.
Yeah. So it was only broadcast once in 1978, and thank God for that. But Jesus Christ, this is dreadful.
Well, I know of this through legend. I know it
Yeah.
has Princess Leia singing and Harrison Ford looking miserable and Chewbacca's family.
How they got involved in the first place.
Must have been a contractual thing.
So Chewbacca and Han Solo visit Kashyyyk, Chewbacca's home world, to celebrate Life Day. They are pursued by agents of the Galactic Empire who are searching for members of the Rebel Alliance. And it introduces 3 members of Chewbacca's family: his father Itchy, his wife Marla, and his son Lumpy.
The Star Wars Holiday Special. Introducing Chewbacca's family. His wife Mala. His father Itchy. His son Lumpy.
So essentially, just imagine listening to that noise of them, just the Chewbacca clan doing that constantly.
Do you know what no one was thinking when they watched Star Wars, the original Star Wars in '77?
I want to know what Chewbacca's wife looks like.
I want to know more about Chewbacca's family and his kids and his home life.
You thought the Ewoks were bad.
Yeah.
But it had a hugely negative reaction. George Lucas has said he didn't have much involvement, but I bet he did. I bet he did.
It's probably what he said about the Phantom Menace.
It has never been rebroadcast or officially released on home video. So it's a variety special, so it also includes like cartoons, songs and skits, cameos from Jefferson Starship, Diane Carroll, Art Carney, Harvey Korman and B. Arthur. But worst of all, at the end of the special, Carrie Fisher sings in celebration of Life Day to the tune of the Star Wars main title.
Oh, wow.
And she doesn't quite hit the last note, which is a bit embarrassing.
Chewbacca! Chewbacca, we were so relieved to hear you were all right.
All of you are an important part of my life, pal. I'm glad I could be here.
This holiday is yours, but we all share with you the hope that this day brings us closer to freedom and to harmony and to peace. No matter how different we appear, we're all the same in our struggle against the powers of evil and darkness. I hope that this day will always be a day of joy in which we can reconfirm our dedication and our courage, and more than anything else, our love for one another. This is the promise of the Tree of Life. We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony, a day of joy we all can share, together
listeners, you could have seen me and Tom just watching that clip there. We were visibly cringing, like dying a little
Absolutely
inside.
dreadful. But the Star Wars Holiday Special is technically in the Star Wars canon.
Right.
Because...
well, they just got rid of all those books. They were like, oh yeah, these books after Jedi don't count. So why have they discarded the Holiday
After
Special?
Lucasfilm's acquisition by the Walt Disney Company, it sort of now falls under the Legends banner, so it technically doesn't exist. So, just absolutely dreadful. Some sort of weird drugged up experiment. Horrible.
Right, so then next up, back to me for festive news and antics. So this is, I think you know, I was a big fan of the X-Men animated series in the 90s. It was, I think, probably my favourite show out of anything.
Not the Australian one.
Not Pride of the X-Men with the Australian Wolverine. That was a weird pilot they did in the 80s that failed to secure a series. But no, this was the classic 90s series. But even looking at it now, I still honestly think it stands up overall as one of the better comic book adaptations that's ever been done in any
I remember watching it on Saturday mornings.
Well, there's some things you watch and you go, oh, okay, it was good when I was a kid. But actually, I rewatched them all fairly recently, and there's the odd, cheesy moment, but they all stand up. And
we'll definitely do this as an episode.
Absolutely, again, and it stays true to all the characters and as they are in the comics and so on. And I wrote a piece, an article celebrating the show back in August. And Eric Leewald, one of the writers, producers, he left a lovely message for me on the article saying, thank you, Morgan, for your kind words about our series. Although time and money were tight, and while there were pressures to make it a very different, younger, simpler show, Mark and Sydney and I and others fought hard to make it the series it became. It's gratifying to all of us that people still appreciate our efforts.
Aww.
So that's nice, heartwarming at Christmas time, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I did also mention in that article, which you kind of glossed over, I mentioned the worst ever episode of the X-Men animated series, which was the Christmas special.
Okay, yeah.
Have yourself a Morlock little Xmas. They at least went for Xmas time.
Yeah.
The official plot synopsis for this is Jubilee, Storm, and grouchy humbug Wolverine go last-minute Christmas shopping in Manhattan.
Dressed as their...
No, in their civvies.
All right, good.
Only to be caught in a life-or-death crisis involving Leech, the littlest Morlock. Now, the Morlocks were mutants who are kind of hidden down in the sewers underground. One of them, the little one, he was sick, injured. So Wolverine gives him a blood transfusion, so his healing powers
Right.
help save him. That's kind of the peril of the episode, but far, far too much of it is just sort of the X-Men having domestic disputes. And then,
got no time for this, lads.
An X-Men Christmas wouldn't be an X-Men Christmas without a family argument. So here's a slightly mind-blowing little clip of Gambit and Jean Grey preparing Christmas dinner.
Oh! Oof, what's this here you're cooking?
It's called food, Gambit. Normal Christmas food.
This need a little Gambit magic. Little cayenne, little thyme.
If you want to keep that hand, stay away.
Gambit's just trying to help.
The day that I need your help in the kitchen is the day that I stop cooking!
You still know nothing about cooking no Christmas dinner.
Is Gambit normally a comedy character like that?
Not really. He's always like a womanizing Cajun, and he's funny, but like not that kind of.
And
funny.
doesn't like Professor X have some sort of like staff to do this?
You would think. Well, he lives in a mansion.
Yeah.
He's quite rich.
Like
You would think he would have Downton Abbey, X-Men stuff. So yeah, no, again, not very good.
Jesus.
Don't have a lot more to say about that, but just not very good. By far the standout stinker of the show. Okay, so next up is Christmas in Pangaea, which is you again.
So yeah, Dinosaurs, another one we definitely will do an episode on one day. But how do you celebrate Christmas when it's millions of years before sort of Christmas existed?
That's a very good point.
They called it Refrigerator Day.
Right. Because they had refrigerators. Should we just explain what Dinosaurs is for people who don't know?
I'm sure a lot of people don't. So it was a Jim Henson thing, wasn't it?
I seem to remember on Saturday night prime time.
In the UK at least.
Yeah, which would never happen today.
So it was just, people dressed up in massive dinosaur suits. It wasn't like puppets.
No, they were in
Puppetry,
suits. Yeah, animatronic faces, but they were in suits. A bit like the Dark Crystal or Labyrinth, those kind of
things. It was kind of a mix between the Flintstones and the Simpsons.
Yeah, that's a good description.
Yeah, so it's set back then, but they're all like working for companies and they had things like fridges and all
much
this
like
Flintstones.
Flintstones,
So yes, it was a Flintstone. Yeah, so Refrigerator Day is their equivalent to Christmas and it celebrates the development of their greatest invention, the refrigerator. I'll let them explain it to you.
Alright.
What's Refrigerator Day?
I already told you.
Oh, was I listening?
Refrigerator Day is when dinosaurs celebrate the one invention that made modern civilization possible.
Diapers?
No. Although that was an important one, too. Especially in summer.
Before refrigerators, dinosaurs couldn't store food. So they always had to be on the move, looking for things to eat.
And their feet were sore, their ankles were swollen, and there was constant chafing. It practically killed romance.
Then one day, a great and wise dinosaur came up with the idea that if you put food in a cold box, it would stay fresh and we could settle down in one place.
Yeah, and it also made it possible to have a midnight snack without running around the woods in your jammies.
And so now we honor the refrigerator by giving it its own special day. Now do you understand? No.
Yeah, so Fridge Day is traditionally marked with gift-giving, a pageant recording the first Refrigerator Day, festive decorations, a Fridge Day bonus, and jolly Refrigerator Day carols used to promote commercial goods. But Earl doesn't get his bonus.
Right.
And he very quickly finds himself broke, and so he has his fridge repossessed. And his wife Fran decides to sell back the presents to the shop so they can buy the fridge back, but only got a shit fridge in return, a little tiny one. But they carried on with their Christmas, their pageant thing.
Yeah.
And it gets a bit surreal. They do a whole big song and dance routine about a refrigerator. It's very strange.
Do you know what? It was always a weird show.
Yeah.
But I think that's a whole other level where they're just like, yeah, let's make them sing Christmas carols about refrigerators.
But however, the shopkeepers love the sort of returns policy that Earl sort of accidentally invented.
Oh, okay, got you.
And so they give him back his fridge and the presents, and they get a lovely happy ending.
Huzzah!
Not like their actual happy ending, which we'll talk about in...
we'll get on to how Dinosaurs actually ended.
But at least that was an interesting take on Christmas. And
they came
up with their own
little different
tradition.
Yeah. Right then, next up, me again.
Yeah.
Community.
So this is a bit different. This isn't any sort of nerdy show. This is like a traditional sitcom.
No.
I've never seen Community.
No, actually, because it started out life as a traditional sitcom. before then going down a more really kind of like odd and offbeat and geeky path, which did it sort of no favours with NBC, the network. Not really any favours with the ratings, but it meant it had a really small but passionate fan base, the show Community. And it would do a lot of kind of like gimmick episodes. So there's like a musical. There's one where they brilliantly kind of mimic the format of Law and Order. And it's kind of very niche because you have to be basically me. You have to like both Community and Law and Order to get it. But it's really well done. There's one that's all in the style of G.I. Joe and 80s cartoons.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe. And then there is the episode we're going to talk about here, which is a Christmas special, Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas. Abed's one of the lead characters, and he probably has Asperger's, although it's never like 100% defined.
Like Sheldon.
Yeah, exactly. Like Sheldon, but better. And he finds out that his mother won't be visiting him this Christmas because she's going to spend time with her new family. And as a result, he has had this kind of mini breakdown and starts to picture his entire life as claymation. So the entire episode is in claymation.
Doesn't take them ages to do it.
Yeah, I know. And there's another episode where they do the whole thing as puppets. As I say, an animated episode. It's no holds barred for Community, but here's a little clip from Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas.
Obviously, you can't see the claymation. But,
no, to you it just sounds like a regular episode of Community. But look it up on YouTube. Brilliant use of the audio medium, this.
You guys hear that? Humbugs. Humbugs? Yeah, a whole swarm of them. See? Everyone stay perfectly sincere. Humbugs are attracted to sarcasm.
Wow. Somewhere out there, Tim Burton just got a boner.
Jeff, don't be sarcastic.
Oh, are they on me now? Oh, no.
Eating him alive.
If only he could find the power to not be a smug douche.
No, can do. I'm just a horrible guy.
Guess I'll have to go get laid.
Ooh, can I sing this one? Bitter, shallow hipster, sweater, matching socks. Christmas needs more presents than a haircut in a box.
Annie, nice.
Get what I did with the word presents?
Primetime on NBC.
Bizarre.
NBC,
really well made.
NBC hated it.
So it's kind of like the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
That's exactly. There's a bit later on where basically at the end of the episode, the whole gang rallies round and they kind of restore Abed's faith in Christmas, and so he sees everything as it actually is again. Okay. And they all gather around and watch, as you say, what was it, Rudolph?
Yeah.
What was it?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
The Rude-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph the Rude-Nosed Reindeer.
That was the Blue Moon talking.
Yeah. And that's why I like Community, because even when it did get very silly and weird and offbeat and strange, it always had heart, which is why I liked it. Aww.
I get it. The meaning of Christmas is the idea that Christmas has meaning, and it can mean whatever we want. For me, it used to mean being with my mom. Now it means being with you guys.
So what's next on our little tree?
Next on our little Advent podcast is Biker Mice from Mars. There we go.
Yeah, I know you've just had your fill of Biker Mice from Mars.
Yeah.
Our latest episode.
Little callback to last episode.
But they did do a Christmas special. It was called Chill Zone. And,
Chill Zone, bro.
So in this episode, the Biker Mice must stop Limburger's plan to steal all of Earth's water using his giant snow suckers.
Isn't that the plot of Quantum of Solace?
But better done.
but better, more polished, better written.
Better villain. Which would ruin not only Christmas, but the whole of winter too.
Oh.
So he's sort of sucking up the snow with these weird machines he's made, carbuncles made.
Right.
And then the snow turns into ice and it goes back to their home planet.
Right.
Mars, I assume.
Mars, I'd imagine.
It's worth it just to see the bros.
The bros.
Dressed up as Santa, looking after orphan kids.
Of course they are.
Oh man, this snow stuff is dangerous.
Yeah. Great, ain't it?
What the heck are those things?
I don't know, but if you ask me, they look like mouse munchers.
The bit at the end, which is brilliant, Limburger's tower, as I said, it's
destroyed at the end of every episode.
And this one, because they build like a big robot. They stupidly go, transport us back to the base.
Right.
And then they realise, no, we can't. And it goes into the...
like a Roadrunner.
Yeah. But the top of the building flies into the air.
Right.
And then lands where the rundown orphanage was. And it makes them a brilliant brand new orphanage.
With no foundations or anything.
That's totally fine.
That's how buildings work.
Yeah.
How'd you ever get us this great new house, Santa Throttle?
Well, Toby, let's just say it was a contribution from a big man in the business world.
Anyway, little buddies, 'twas the night before Christmas.
And all through the house, not a creature was stirring. Except for the mice!
Bah, humbug.
Because of a brand new home, so it's all a bit soppy and shit. But what else did you expect from the Biker Mice from Mars?
No, because a natural fit, of course, is Christmas and motorsports. So you can see why they went down that route.
No Bucky O'Hare Christmas special though.
No, well, it's only 13 episodes, wasn't there?
Didn't have time.
Alright, next one is Jerry Anderson.
So he must have done quite a few, right?
There's quite a few. So we love Jerry Anderson here on Two Geeks. Interestingly, Thunderbird's last ever episode was its Christmas special.
Did they know it was going to be the last ever episode?
Well, I'm not sure. It was the last episode of Series 2.
Okay.
Of Thunderbirds, Give or Take a Million. It's called, broadcast on Christmas Day, 1966, and it involves international rescue and the Tracy brothers helping to launch a rocket full of presents.
Glad you can make it this year, Penny.
So am I, Jeff. I'm having a wonderful time.
Well, we've just got time for one more carol before further refreshments.
Oh, no, not more food.
I couldn't eat another thing.
I just got a little party piece I'd like to do.
You have? Gee, that's great.
But first of all, I must ask for a little help from the audience. Will you all please close your eyes?
I don't like the sound of this.
Oh, come on, Virgil.
Right. You can open your eyes now.
Tintin, look. Oh, it's snowing.
So that's what you're up to, Brains.
It's beautiful.
Gee, snow and palm trees.
Brains, you old devil, you've given us a real old-fashioned Christmas.
Then there's Stingray. They did A Christmas to Remember in 1964. Troy Tempest, the lead character, he was helping out the orphaned son of his deceased colleague of his at Christmas time, helping to cheer him up. Joe 90 did one. Oh God, maybe not as good as those other shows, but Joe 90 did one. The Unorthodox Shepherd, about counterfeiters trying to steal from a church at Christmas. Oh. And then our old favourite Terrahawks.
I haven't ever actually seen the Christmas special.
Right, A Christmas Miracle it's called.
Yeah.
And it was available free to watch on YouTube last year. They made it free as a Christmas gift. It's gone now, I'm afraid. But in that episode, because Terrahawks is known for being slightly more comical than, say, Thunderbirds or Stingray, but actually this sort of went against type and was a slightly more serious.
So they went for the Christmas special to be serious.
Well,
they did the opposite of everyone else.
It's still got your classic Terrahawks larks,
yeah.
But in this episode, so Neinstein and Zelda, they want to continue their war over Christmas, but Mary calls a temporary ceasefire, and it's like an analogue of the Kickabout in No Man's Land. Oh. It's meant to be like a sci-fi version of that. Oh.
Welcome to our humble ship.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Yes. Happy Christmas. Thank you.
We have heard of Christmas. It is a festival. A celebration.
Yes, indeed. A time for enjoyment. You're right. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's have a party!
What I have found instead is an advert featuring stewed apples for Zelda's Christmas album. What?
Hey gang! It's Christmas! And to get you in the festive mood, yeah, this amazing Christmas album will blow your socks off!
Oh, die, and bow down to me.
Yeah, okay. Oh, no, wait a minute now, hang on.
Just promote Mummy's record, you horrible little man.
Right, well, this wonderful album includes Oh Die All Ye Earth Scum, Neinstein Roasting on an Open Fire, and many, many more. So, buy or die, cretins. Oh, well, that's just what it says here, yeah?
By far my favourite track on that Zelda album, you couldn't see it, there was one called Bloody Awful Christmas. Oh That's my favourite.
So they must have made that relatively recently.
I think that was made around the time Big Finish, Merry Christmas guys,
Yeah.
were making the Terrahawks audio
Hilarious.
play.
I did fall for it when you first said it. I thought there was an actual Zelda Christmas album.
Sadly not available to buy. Weirdly, Captain Scarlet never had a Christmas special.
He's too miserable for Christmas.
A hero in red, miserly Mr. Ons, Christmas on Cloud Base. That sounds like a slam dunk. Again,
disappointing.
I'm packed full of good ideas, none of them being utilised. All right, so almost there, almost at the end. Lois and Clark. So, as we discussed in our Lois and Clark episode, and a very much underrated take on the classic Superman mythos, and they did an episode called Season's Greetings.
Weird.
A pun that both Sliders and Lois and Clark used.
It's not that good a pun.
It's not that good a pun.
And it's twice been used for TV Christmas specials. Very strange.
So this is in 1994, written by Dean Cain, this episode.
Oh, God. Go on, Dean, kick it out.
So in this episode, the classic DC Comics villain, the Toyman, he invents a toy that makes children greedy and makes adults act like children, so also greedy. And they're all fighting over toys, and even Clark is affected by
even though he's not human.
The powers of the toys, yeah.
All right.
Meanwhile, sort of the subplot is Lois is trying to organise a Christmas dinner, but she ends up all alone until, of course, Clark cancels his plans to stay in Smallville over Christmas with his folks to spend the time with Lois
Isn't that
instead.
nice?
Got a lovely little
I love it.
In case you couldn't tell there, Clark had brought Lois a star for the top of her tree that Superman had got from space. I don't know, made from some kind of space substance.
Three things though. One, it's very similar to X-Files.
Very similar to the X-Files sequence.
Two, why the fuck would Superman give a shit about Christmas? Three, that is the worst version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas I've ever heard. And I've heard some stinkers over the years, including Alpha 5.
Why would Superman care about Christmas? He loves it. He loves truth, justice, the American way, and Christmas. You're a cynic. You're a Grinch, Tom Eames. They didn't let Dean Cain write another episode. No, that's not quite true. He didn't write another one solo, but he did co-write another episode for the following season. Finally, the Doctor in the TARDIS. Doctor in the TARDIS. Of course, it wouldn't be a geek Christmas without Doctor Who.
But there's been like 15 million Doctor Who Christmas.
Well, since it came back in 2005, there have been a total of 11 Doctor Who Christmas specials. There's been one every year since 2005.
So did that exist before? Was that a thing?
Wow. This is what I'm getting on. Because the 11th one, The Husbands of River Song, that's going to be on BBC One this Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. But there was one Christmas special in the run of classic Doctor Who. So back in the day, Doctor Who had these big multi-episode stories that went on for weeks and weeks and months and months. One of the longest ever was called The Daleks' Master Plan. 12 parts, and it ran from November 1965 to January 1966. And episode 7 of 12, called The Feast of Stephen. That aired on the Doctor's companion was called Stephen.
I was going to ask, was there a Captain
Stephen? Played by Peter Purvis. And that aired on BBC One, Christmas Day 1965. So actually, this Christmas is going to be the 50th anniversary of The Feast of Stephen.
Oh. Will they reference it? Probably will. They keep doing these weird references.
I've not seen Husbands of River Song yet. Probably Moffat. You'll probably sneak in a reference to The Feast of Stephen. So in this, the Doctor and his companions, including Stephen, land in 60s London, where they meet Charlie Chaplin and Bing Crosby. Not the real one. And it ends, much like the Power Rangers special, it ends with the Doctor, William Hartnell, breaking the fourth wall and talking directly down the camera. Now, of course, this being 60s Doctor Who, this episode is missing from the archives. BBC got rid of it. But here is a reconstruction of that moment, and you can, of course, listen to the audio.
Whatever was that place?
Oh, no idea. I'm glad we got away.
What were they doing?
Your guess is as good as mine. Let's hope we never land there again. Here we are. What's this? Well, we so rarely get a chance to celebrate, but this time we must.
Celebrate?
Yes. It's Christmas. Don't you remember the police station, Christmas? So it was, yes. Here's a toast. A happy Christmas to all of us. Same to you, Doctor. Sir. Incidentally, a happy Christmas to all of you at home.
What? So he just suddenly goes, hey!
Yeah, you wouldn't get away with it these days. Can't imagine Capaldi doing that.
Or... Bizarre.
Yeah.
So of all these shows, there's one show that I wish had a Christmas special.
Go on.
Red Dwarf.
Right, why hasn't Red Dwarf done a Christmas
You'd
special?
think at some point they would have done a Christmas special.
Yeah.
Because they're in space. It's a perfect idea that there are listeners there going, God, I wish we could celebrate Christmas.
I want to celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. I suppose it was just never on around December. But
Crichton dressed up as Santa.
But
itself.
You'd think like...
Red and gold and green, I'm not wearing that. That clashes. Ow!
And Crichton trying to work out, and Rimmer being miserable and having sprouts. But you'd think, Doctor Who does a one-off special.
Yeah.
Separate from the series. Do you think Red Dwarf at some point would have gone, let's do a one-off Christmas special?
Dave, get on it.
Yeah.
They're filming 2 new series, aren't they? You went on set recently.
Sat on Starbug.
Nice.
It's great.
Do a Red Dwarf Christmas special.
But that is about it, isn't it? That's our 12 days Christmas. That was a bumper special.
We'll probably end up cutting this episode down, but it'll still be quite a lengthy one, I think.
But it's Christmas. You want to make the most of it as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's only once a year.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, as ever. As I said, the Ulysses 31 episode will be coming.
Yeah.
That'll be our first episode in the new year, 2016.
And please follow us if you're not already on Twitter, which is 2geekscast, and we're on Facebook as well. Just give us a search for 2 Geeks, 2 Beers, and download and stream all our other episodes and subscribe on iTunes via 2geeks2beers.wordpress.com.
Yes, please. That'd be a lovely Christmas present to us if you did.
Yeah.
All right, well, just to wrap up, since we did end on Doctor Who, to send us off on our merry way, I have this thing, Song for 10. It's an original song composed for David Tennant's first ever Doctor Who episode, The Christmas Invasion, which was Doctor Who's first ever Christmas special. It was re-recorded for the soundtrack released by Neil Hannon of the Divine Comedy, but this is the original version from the actual episode, sung by Tim Phillips, which I much prefer. So here it is.
Merry
and
Christmas.
That's it. Merry Christmas. God bless us, everyone.
Yay. Tommy Bobbin.
Well, I woke up today, and the world seemed a restless place. It could have been that way for me. And I wandered around, and I thought of your face, that Christmas looking back at me. I
You going for any geeky things in the Jeffrey household at Christmas time?
Because you went, Christmas time.